Why did Muhammad get cursed by a Jew for 6 months? And number one, God didn't do anything about it.
قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا.
Well, I believe that Christianity is the way, and I have a bunch of questions about Islam.
You said you believe Christianity is the way.
Yes.
And you believe Islam is false. And then you have evidences to show why Islam is false, or questions that you want to present that your sister was not able to answer that you're going to present. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Why did Muhammad get cursed by a Jew for 6 months? And number one, God didn't do anything about it. And he was still cursed.
What did he... Sorry, wait. Because you talk very quickly, right?
Sorry.
Why did Prophet Muhammad did what?
Inside of I forgot what book, I think it's the Quran. But it says that Muhammad got cursed by a Jew for 6 months.
Okay, 1 second. I want to ask you a question.
Why didn't God protect him?
Yeah, I'm going to respond to that in a second. But who do you watch who tells you these things?
I guess fellow Christians. I bounced around a lot of servers around the internet. I've learned, and
do you find these Christians making Bible circles in which they're preaching the Bible, or do you see them only speaking about Islam? And I want you to be sincere. Which one do you see them doing?
Whenever I talk to them, it's either they're debating or they're doing a circle. And sometimes I bring up Islam to them, because sometimes Muslim people join it and they're like, oh, this is wrong. And then I say, oh, well, this and that. And then somebody else adds to the conversation.
No. I'm saying when they are there, when they start something, when they start whatever it is, a server, when they start something, are the main topics that they talk about is against Islam, yes or no?
No.
Okay. I don't think honestly, I don't want to judge you and say you're not being sincere, but I do think you're not being sincere there. But okay, let's go ahead, because all of these claims that you brought is not going to be from average Christians who just read their own Bible and all of a sudden they came across these things, That's not the case. Those are people who dedicate their time to search for these things, and day and night, that's what they do. There's no way that you would encounter these things except if you watch those type of people who just day and night just spread lies and complete nonsense about what the Quran and Sunnah is saying. Okay, now let's get to your question. For me to demonstrate my point is that those people are just repeating nonsense. Can you show me now, where is it in the Quran or Hadith does it say that Prophet Muhammad was cursed by a Jew? And why does it matter if he was cursed by a Jew or not? But show me where first does it say that he was cursed by a Jew for 6 months. Where is that in the Quran?
Let me find it, because I know that I noted it somewhere.
Go ahead, please do.
It might take a little bit.
Where is it in the Quran? Does it say? Yeah, I'm just asking the question.
I just want to say, it most likely doesn't say it directly, because I was watching you streaming.
Even indirectly, it's okay. Even indirectly. Yeah. I'm curious to see, where does the Quran say, indirectly or directly, that a Jew cursed Prophet Muhammad for 6 months? Go ahead.
Okay, so while I'm looking for it, I have a question.
Before you move forward, I need you to understand what you're doing. Look, if you're convinced with your Christianity, it's fine. There's no problem. But I cannot just jump on a Christian stream. Your Bible says this, and that, and you go do your research, No. And then, okay, but let me move on to the next point now. Do not actually trying to engage in a discourse.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry. It's my brother is searching up these things. It's just that my father's here, and he feels a little pressure to hurry up because I think my father doesn't want us to.
Not at all. We actually want to hear what you have to say. Samantha is just disturbing us, and you're welcome to continue. To be honest, there is very little that we know about Islam. Mm-hmm. And what I mean very little, I don't even know what the Quran says, so I don't even want to speculate. I hear that people say that he married to this, he married to that. I hear the people say that why would I follow a guy who, if you don't believe in his faith, he welcomes you to be beheaded? Mm-hmm. I don't even like to get into that. When I see someone, I see their actions, their behavior. Okay, sometimes there's a lot of better. There's some Christians who call themselves Christians, but sometimes some guys who not call themselves Christians, they act better than the Christians guys. So Samantha is here. She's trying to tell us that Muhammad is the right prophet. Unfortunately, I don't believe that, because I have studied Jesus. I know him personally, and I believe that his teachings is different than anyone else, including Muhammad. The teachings is not related to any agenda about government, any agenda about power, any agenda about all these different things. Jesus taught us different things. that relates to me personally, is more related to who God is, his form of being as a person, a forgiver, a merciful Father who forgets quickly what we have done and forgive us of our sins if we repent genuinely. But again, I don't know much. I don't even understand the Quran because I don't speak or read the language that is written on it. But there are some things that I could tell by, and I could be wrong. For example, there is.
Before we get into exams, look. First thing is, look, this is like a polite discourse between two individuals. So I just want to make sure that everyone is okay with the discussion happening. But the thing is, look, this is a basic, respectful discussion taking place. And I do not mind if anyone to bring any question about Islam. As you can see, she asked the first question. I allowed her to ask that question. Then she moved into another question. But there is a very important, and what you said is fine, right? Like you can, as the father, you can believe in Christianity, you can believe in Hinduism, you can believe in atheism, you can believe in whatever you want to believe. We as Muslims are not forcing anything on anyone. We would say, yes, Islam is the truth. We would say that for sure. We give reasons why Islam is the truth. That doesn't mean we're going to force it on you or anyone else. So you are entitled to that position. My issue is when people go around spreading things and you don't do the average courtesy of actually researching where these things are coming from. If you're a sincere individual with a little bit of morality, I would say, the least you could do is before you actually circulate these things that you hearsay from other people who clearly have an agenda against Islam, the least you could do is to actually research, okay, does the Quran actually say that? Let me actually open it itself and see what it says. So that is the least that you could do. But you cannot come, why does this happen? Why did your Prophet do this and that? And there's no such thing even in the Quran or Hadith. You're just literally repeating clear-cut lies that with 2 seconds of research you would realize that there is no such thing. Okay, so let's come back now to what
I
you're saying.
did find something. It's called SABUKH. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, Surah Al-Baqarah. You found Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay, but wait. Yeah, before we talk about Surah Al-Baqarah, look, because we're jumping everywhere, we need to calm down and take things step by step.
I agree.
Look, your claim was, the Quran says, Prophet Mohamed was cursed for 6 months by a Jew. That was your claim. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, where does Surah Al-Baqarah say that Prophet Muhammad was cursed by a Jewish woman or a man, or whatever it is, for 6 months? Go ahead.
I do not know the context, but I assume...
Okay, you said Surah Al-Baqarah is a chapter
wait. Let me...
which has verses. Which verse?
Phrase this wrong. It doesn't say specifically for 6 months, as I'm seeing, but it says magic was worked on Allah's messenger Muhammad. Surah Al-Baqarah.
No, it doesn't say that. Which verse?
5765. Magic was worked on Allah's messenger.
That's not the Quran. The Surah Al-Baqarah is a chapter, and chapter has verses. Now, this is basic knowledge. Let me try to make it easier for you to understand.
Yes.
Like the Bible has chapters, those chapters have verses, right? The Gospel of Mark has chapter 1. Chapter 1 has verses, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Yes.
So now think about Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah, whatever Surah. Surah is a chapter. They have verses. The number of the verses of Surah Al-Baqarah is 280 something. So there's no 5,000 there, right? So what you're referring to about the magic is not in the Quran. That's the first thing we need to understand. And this shows that you've not even picked up a Quran and read it, right? Ever in your life, because you don't know what a chapter is and what a verse is.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't understand the language.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so as I said, there's a chapter and there's verses, okay? Chapter and verses. So Surah Al-Baqarah does not have anything to do with a Jewish woman cursing the Prophet or 6 months or anything like that. What you quoted there is a hadith.
What's the difference on the hadith and the Quran?
The hadith is the life of the Prophet ﷺ, what he encountered, what happened in his life, transmitted by his companions, transmitted by historians. Some of these news are authentic, reliable, and some of them are not authentic and reliable. So they're not all accepted by Muslims. Just like history has been reported.
So the hadith talks about the biography of Muhammad, and some of those things are fake news and some are truthful things. How do I know which one is true?
Before we jump there, step by step. Step by step. Okay, look. First thing is, I'm not saying the hadith is a biography of the Prophet. I'm saying the hadith is what the Prophet taught, basically. What he did when he was what he was doing in his life after he received messengerhood from God. So it's not a biography since he was born and after he died and all of that. No, there are books about the biography of the Prophet. It is more to do with the teachings and the things that he said to do with Islam, right? The revelation from God. This is what the hadith is. So he would give us revelation. He will say that God commanded him to do this, or we should do this as a command from God. And it is separate from the Quran. The Quran is verbatim the word of Allah, while the hadith is the teachings of the Prophet through revelation. So this is a separation between the two. We don't believe anyone speaks in the Quran other than Allah. It's all Allah's words. It's all divine verbatim the words of the Creator. So when you say something in the Quran, then you have to have a chapter and a verse, and then you quote which verse, and then the verse has words, right? So you actually read what the verse says, because there's no such thing in the Quran. Now when it comes to the hadith, then you look at the hadith. Where does the hadith exist? Because there's multiple books of hadith. And then there's a criteria that we have. We have something called the chain of narration. The individuals reported this report. Were they reliable? Were they trustworthy? They have strong memory? How were they known in their community? Did they meet the person they reported from? Going all the way back to Prophet Mohamed. This is how we determine whether something is an authentic report from the Prophet or not an authentic report from the Prophet. And all of this work is already done in books. And the books shows you which is an authentic report and which is not, and why it is an authentic report and why it's not an authentic report. So now you cannot just what you do, you go on a Discord server, as he said,
yes.
and then you come with someone just types something and then you copy paste it and you go and you say Islam says this. You cannot be doing this.
Do you so the hadith talks about the different teachings that Muhammad teach throughout his life after he received the revelations?
That's correct, yes.
And you mentioned
what he said, what he did, his character, which we learn from, because it's an example for us, these specific things, basically.
And now some of those things that you guys see there, do you guys follow all of them? Or
we follow everything authentic. There? Everything authentic reported to the Prophet, meaning everything that we call sahih, which means authentic, because there's different gradings of hadith. It's a whole science. This is not just something that we woke up one night and decided to do, you know? This is a whole history of 1,400 years of literature. It's a whole science called the science of hadith. And within the science of hadith, you have the science of men, which is grading these different hadith based on seeing this men, whether they're reliable or not. And then we have a science of grading. Okay, this hadith is weak. This hadith is authentic. This hadith is fabricated. We have different gradings. Sahih, mawdu', mawquf, marfu', many different gradings. It's a science that people spend their life studying, literally. So based on that, we come to the conclusion, for example, in the end, already scholars have done this. Okay, this hadith is sahih, means it's authentic. And if it says this hadith is sahih, authentic, it gives you the reasons. If you want to research the reasons, you'll see the reasons why it's authentic. That all of the people who reported this news are reliable. They have a strong memory. They've been praised by their community. They met the people they narrated from, going all the way back to the Prophet ﷺ.
Do you guys follow all the hadiths, the authentic ones?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. We believe in all of them. Not all of them are giving commands, but we believe in all of them, yes.
Mm-hmm. What is one of the teachers that he teach in the hadiths?
Who?
Muhammad.
Prophet Mohamed ﷺ?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are tens of thousands of hadith. Like, for example, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you will become a believer until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. So that's one example the Prophet ﷺ taught. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, من حسن الإسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. From the perfection of someone's belief is to leave that which is not his business. The Prophet ﷺ said, انصر أخاك ظالما أو مظلوما. Support your brother whether he's the oppressor or he's oppressed. So they said, okay, we support the person if he's oppressed, but if he's the oppressor, how do you support him? The Prophet said, you stop him from his oppression. So if I see another Muslim oppressing others, I stop that Muslim from oppressing others. I can go on and on. Obviously, I give many ahadith, the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, but there are tens of thousands. Which do you have a specific topic that you want to ask? The Prophet ﷺ said, if you take care of your daughters, they will be a shield from you, from hellfire. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best of you is who is best to his family members. There are many multiple different ahadith that the Prophet ﷺ taught. The Prophet ﷺ said that there is no difference between an Arab and a non-Arab, a black and a white. We're all coming from dust. Adam was from dust and we're all from Adam. And the best of us is the one who has the most piety, who's closest to God. These were the teachings of Prophet Muhammad that you're not going to hear in the Discord server, by the way.
Yes.
If your name is Nick, I don't know. You're not going to hear these. Yeah, you're not going to hear these teachings in the Discord server. But this is what the Quran and Hadith is teaching. This is what Allah is teaching us to do. Allah teaches us in the Quran that you have to be just and upright, even against your family members. So if the truth is against my family members, I have to say the truth. Even if my family members are the ones who did that wrong thing, I have to say the truth.